Be prepared for highly offensive language from the start and throughout, and adult and sexual themes.
Down with the cool kids. Liz at the Star-Spangled Banner is flying patriotically over that house, and Team US have evened up the tally and made it 1-1 with only Team UK up for the chop tonight. And Chris has become the first Brit out. Mixed reaction. Second housemate to lose his place in the house, unfortunately. But tonight, we have got a show for you that's more explosive than Farrah's temper, let me tell you. But he will be joining me here very shortly to dish all the dirt on his time CBBUK. So we're going to have all the latest from the fallout. Also, Air Ireland's going to be taken to the skies again. We love it, Air Ireland. Oh, I love me bing bong. We've got a lot to get through, so I'm going to need a hand to finish off, but not like that. Tuesday night. It's time to find out who's on my panel. First up, she's not a one-man band, she's a one-woman show. She's a comedian, a writer, a TV and radio presenter, a feminist and a politician. That's a mouthful, and I do love a mouthful. It's Amy LeMay! I'm so excited you're here! Now listen here on Bots, I strive to bring you lot not only the best, but the very best. And unfortunately tonight, all I could afford was this heartthrob. It's Callum Best. My final guest needs very little introduction. She's my little pocket rocket who packs a big old punch, believe me, and she keeps me on my toes, so let's hope she behaves, because I would like to keep my job. Show some love for Nikki Graham! Right, let's get stuck straight in. Chris has left the Bournemouth bungalow. Amy, coming to you. Did the right person go tonight, babe?
Absolutely, the right person wins. Oh, he just sat there looking miserable the whole time. He was not participating in the household. And I think his anti-American rant, I'm in no way defending the behaviour of those women in that house, but his anti-American rant, I think, bordered on racism, quite frankly.
Oh, so you're glad he's out, clearly?
Yeah, absolutely.
She's clearly glad he's out. As you know, only Brits were up for a nomination this week. Callum, do you think it would have been a different result if the Americans were in the mix as well?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you put Farrah and Jenna together and nobody's got a chance, you know what I mean?
You reckon?
So, without a doubt. I mean, you watched 2 nights ago, having Perez in my show, I found it quite tough, but watching them the other night, I actually had to not watch the TV for a while. It made me that uncomfortable, so... But I think if everybody had a chance to vote, I don't think it would have gone a certain way, but like I said, you put those two together and anybody will struggle.
But this is the thing. Remember, celebs vote to save. It's not vote to evict. So if it was vote to evict, I could probably understand. A lot more people would be like, yeah, get them out.
Yeah.
But people love a bit of the drama. I mean,
I think those girls will be in there till the very end. You know what I mean? Just like in the episodes that I did, you think to yourself, the public especially love to watch that
like
part.
Perez,
and
exactly.
I like to watch it as well, because it's good car crash television, but it's...
but living in there.
It's a whole different story,
Totally different story.
You know?
Nick, why did the public get rid of Chris tonight, do you think?
I just think, to be honest...
When she even starts talking. She's only got to start talking.
I forgot he was in there, and he said something, like, he literally went a whole week without speaking, and then he was in one episode, and I was like, oh, my God! Like,
it's Burnside from the Bill!
Yeah, so I just think, like... Well, no one's going to miss him. I mean, he seems a lovely guy and all, but...
And he's quite scary. When he says, the first American I see, I'm going to chin, you think, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like...
Did you see him? He ran up those stairs. He did not stop. He did not look back.
I think he was like...
Let me out of here before somebody changes their mind.
Yeah, I'm off all the best. Let's talk Chris. Are we glad, sad?
I'm not actually. I mean, I don't condemn what he said. You know, I'm with you on that. But actually... I wish he stayed in a bit more, because I think there was still a bit more... No, can I just finish?
Let the lady talk.
Can I just finish? I think there's a lot more of Chris that we haven't actually seen yet. It was just now that he's actually coming out, and I think Gail should have come out. Yeah. In fact, I feel sorry for the fact that I feel sorry for Gail, because I think she's struggling in there, and I don't like to see her like cry and being miserable like that. So I think it's our time to go. It should have been our time to go.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, talking of Gail, let's talk about the housemates who've escaped eviction tonight, and we'll start with her. We've seen a feistier side to her tonight. She said the hot water should have been left off for longer. She's starting to play the game. Are we liking that new side to Gail? Do you think we need to see a bit more of it?
Well, yeah, but, you know, she's such a sensitive soul, like you said. You know, you just want to go up and give her a hug. And, you know, like, all the girls, you know, especially Jenna, have just been like, you know, deal with it or, you know, get off the show. And I just think it just exacerbates everything. And I just, you know, I love Gail. I want to see her do well.
There's nothing not to like about Gail, but we just want a bit more from you, Gail. That's all we want. She also said that if she stays, she's going to whoop ass. Does that? Whoop ass and win. Callum, can she whoop ass and win?
I gotta say, in defense to Gail, I've had the pleasure of spending time with her. We worked for some charities together, and I spent 2 weeks straight with her trekking through Vietnam, and she was such a lovely, genuine, soft soul. And I think that what she's been through lately in her life, and everybody's obviously been through their own trials and tribulations, but I genuinely look at her and I think she is actually upset and really sensitive, and I think she cries for those reasons. Some people might think it's a game, because it's a game show,
yeah, but Callum, can she whoop ass?
No, I don't think she'll be whooping any ass, dude. I think she's just going to be... I think she will stay tame and stay quiet and stay soft. I don't think anything's going to change her in the next however many amount of days that'll make her turn into some ass-whooping person, as you would say.
An ass-whooping person. Let's move on to Bobby. Scoop said he was the common thread between the US and the Brits, so he's a little bit of a common link. Nick, do you think his efforts are going to be a bit in vain with the US housemates?
Well, Bobby's very similar to Chris in the respect that his whole stay in the house so far has been very in vain.
Do you think?
Yeah.
He's not give enough?
No.
Nikki has spoken. The thing is, though, with Bobby, he did try to extend that olive branch out to Farah. And do you think he can get there? Because he's tried and it...
With Farah?
Yeah.
Can anybody get through to Farah? I mean, you know...
Could you?
I don't think so.
Well, let's maybe put you in and find out. Just saying. Said it on the telly now.
I'll take her on.
Amy will take her on, lovely. Well, listen, I think we need to move on to something. It's the first one of the night. It's time for Quote Alert. Stevie said, "You're like butter that melts on bread, and you melt whenever you go on me." That was your Quote Alert. There you go.
Pure poetry.
Poetry. Nick, does that do it for you from Stevie?
No.
No?
Absolutely not.
How do you feel about Stevie and Chloe and the butter melting and...
Yeah, I
Love it.
wouldn't like to think about it for too long, probably.
I'll give you that one. Cal, do you think they're going to start changing their behaviour a bit now? That's twice they've been up and twice they've been
Yeah,
saying.
you know, I try not to be rude, but it is so cringe hearing that kind of stuff. And I think that the public probably don't like so much PDA, but, you know, I watched the last night's episode and I think to myself, bless him for making an effort, because when Scoop got up and he gave his speech about trying to do this and that, they kind of took it in and appreciated it, which I thought was quite cool, you know? But at the same time, you do watch and go, ooh, you know, it's slightly...
Do you know what I want to ask from you, Nick? You mentioned, obviously, Stevie and Chloe. With Chloe, I want to talk to you about Janice, because Janice has sort of took Chloe a bit under her wing, hasn't she?
Oh, my God, that moment in the bed.
I know. It's like,
Can we talk about that?
You can say what you want. What are you making of it?
No, I just thought it was really weird. And actually, I think maybe Janice and Chloe make a better couple. Yeah,
You think?
totally. They were so snuggly and they looked kind of cute.
I've got to say, it is Celebrity Big Brother. Anything could happen. I mean, we've had weirder.
I love their friendship. I think...
Do you think it's a genuine friendship?
Yeah, I do. I think Chloe looks up to Janice, and they're both a little bit bonkers in their own way, aren't they? You know, they can relate to each other. And, I mean, I have to admit, like, I do think I'm Janice, with Janice is me, in 40 years' time.
So do we, babe, so do we. I'm just going to say, so do we all. Listen, I know they've got a lot to say. They're going to be saying a bit more a bit later on, but for now, give them a little clap. That's nice. Now, my next one is definitely my signature dish in a party, or the icing on my cake, you know, the beauty to my beast, you know, Bella the Bolt. You get what I'm trying to say. It's my gorgeous Emma Willis! this ensemble?
I feel like I should have a beret on.
Little beret, little accent.
Oh, oui, oui.
I need a wee
Monsieur?
wee. Can't wait for the break. How was it tonight?
Tonight was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. Chris seems really pleased.
Yeah, it seems over the moon. Were you shocked?
No, I don't think I really was. Well, just have a scratch.
Yeah, I was going to say, just scratch yourself,
No,
darling.
I wasn't. I did think it would maybe be Chris.
And you think he's pleased to be out? He looks it.
Yeah, he is really pleased to be out. I mean, you know, as he said, he was just bored of it. And it's, you know, we haven't seen much of Chris and we haven't seen much of Sherry and we haven't seen a lot of Bobby, really, who are our older housemates.
Yeah.
And it's probably because they are grown-ups. They've been there, they've done that, they've got the T-shirt. They don't need to be surrounded by lots of young, screaming people on a reality TV show.
Do you think that's where it went wrong for him then, in a way? Because what we want to see is more of the drama, and he just sort of went in there and was just, no, this is
Well,
me.
it depends, isn't it? You say what we want to see is more drama. We don't have to just see drama. We could see fun. We could see... We don't just have to see Farrah shouting at people.
Completely.
And her and Jenna having a bitch about everybody. We don't need to just see that.
No.
You know, it's good to see other things. But did Chris do enough or anything to kind of
stay in?
Be shown? And I mean that in the nicest possible way. And he said himself, you know, he's not somebody who is an extrovert or he's just like a normal
I feel like
bloke.
an actor without a script.
Yeah, exactly.
And I
so,
think it come across.
and I think the right person went because I don't think he wanted to be in there anymore.
Well, let's look to the future.
Yes.
Because we like looking to the future on
Yes.
it, don't we? We do.
Like Mystic Meg.
Yeah, get your balls out.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Friday. I've seen them. Let's talk about Friday. So we're calling this a fake...
It's a fake
eviction.
Yeah, so, you know, we could do a fake eviction, send them into a secret room and you'd all go, you've done that so many times before.
Secret room!
So we're like, all right, let's put a twist on it. And the people in the secret room won't know, but the rest of the house will know that those two are being watched, are watching them.
Do you know anything else? Because you do know everything. Look, the arm's out. The arm is out.
No,
we know she puts her arm out.
That's all I know, is that it's a fake eviction. 2 people will be fake evicted and then go into a secret room and they will watch thinking that it's all genuine, but the rest of the house will be in on it.
Do you think it's going to kick off?
It depends who's evicted.
Got any... Who would you like? Oh, no, we can't say
Well,
that,
it
can
depends,
we?
doesn't it? Because it depends what kind of nominations happen.
Oh, hang on. She looks like she knows
No,
something.
I'm not saying anything else. You know, it depends. Like, last time we had Just the Americans nominate. So is it all the house? You know, what's going on? We don't
Will
know.
there be a
We don't know what
task?
sort of nominations they're going to be. So it's impossible to say who I think will be up. Who do you want? You kind of want Farrah to stay in, I think, so that people can watch her constantly and see what she's like whoever's in the secret room can watch constantly. So it's a catch-22, isn't it? You can kind of want somebody like Farrah in the secret room watching everybody and having that ammunition, or you want her to stay in there and you want everyone to see what she's like when she's not around them as well as what she's like when she's around them.
Are you excited?
Have I confused you all?
You confused me at fake,
looks
to be
really
fair.
confused.
Callum's just like, why am I here? Let's talk a little bit about tonight's
Wasn't I
reality.
just in there?
Let's talk about Scoop. I've got to ask you about Scoop.
I don't know. That was my American. Scoop.
Scoop. I need to talk about Scoop.
Hallelujah for Scoop.
Well, he's taking that role of president to the next level. What are you making of President Scoop?
I've got a bit of fluff in my eye. I've got it.
This is what this show's turned into.
Yeah.
We are clapping, fluff in the eye.
Exclusives.
Fluff in the eye.
I love... He had a few corkers tonight, I think, Scoop. He had the whole chat in the bedroom with Farrah going, this man, he has tried so hard with you. That was better, wasn't it, Callum? Thank you.
Nearly there.
And the whole, like, thing around the table with his list on the back of a cereal box.
know.
I mean, it was just...
And no asking questions until I'm finished.
No, exactly.
It was like a press conference.
And the thing is, you know, he's hilarious just the way he is, but he's rational.
Yeah.
Whereas quite a few of them in there aren't.
Yeah.
But he's also on the side of maybe the slightly more irrational housemates, so he can connect with them and hopefully make them
Hopefully
see
get
sense.
through to them a
Which
little
he
bit.
did seem to really calm Farrah down, and she opened up a little bit
She
about
did.
her mum and her dad and why she is the way she is. And I think that in itself, we've had a bit of a breakthrough tonight.
Well done, Scoop. Well done. I've just got...
Well, interesting how James was the one she was kind of battling with so much.
Yeah.
And even though Scoop was kind of mediating that whole chat, it was James that got her to open up.
Yeah, I think
And
that's
to
very
be quite...
fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so he managed to just...
I wonder if it's because she likes them.
Oh, it could happen.
Oh, stop it.
Well, talking of, you know, maybe not impossible romances, we just brought it up. Let's talk about Janice and Chloe.
Yes.
Is this the most crazy relationship you've seen?
No, it's mother-daughter relationship, I think. Think about it. Chloe was on Britain's Next Top Model, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Like, she has aspiration. Well, she's a model,
The
isn't
Face she was on.
The Face, right, one of them. She wants to be a model. Or a singer, or she seems to like being in the public eye. Janice Dickinson is the world's first supermodel, so why wouldn't you idolise her if that is the job that you want to do?
I do think their relationship is quite cute.
It's really cute, and like Nikki said, they're both quite eccentric, and I do think they're a bit like mother and daughter.
I like it. I like it. I do like it. Well, listen, earlier on, I asked them lot at home if they wanted to ask you some questions. So we're going to do it different.
Cakes or balls?
We're cakes, balls, tits, we've had it all. But we're going to do it different tonight, so you like to change it up. Yeah, Jim
Mustn't swear, mustn't swear.
Don't say tits.
Mustn't swear.
That tits is all right.
Apparently
So we're going to do it
swear.
different tonight. Let's have a little look at my little bold. Where is it?
I thought you were saying...
look! Look at this. So, they've all got a little thing about them. So what one do you want to go for?
Are you serious?
Are you serious? Let's have a look at that one. Right. At Super TV 24/7 says, do you think the British will take their next win much more seriously after how serious the Americans are?
No.
Don't?
Like Chris said tonight, he was like, we're just very British.
Very British.
And, it's taken... We've seen Natasha, her levels have kind of been getting a bit higher and higher, but it's taken her over a week to kind of explode last night. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, they'll take it all in...
All in their stride.
All in their stride, yeah.
I hate this, but we're running out of time. I want to give you one more. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Let's
go back
go
to the ball.
bondage.
Let's go bondage. She loves a bit of bondage. Our Paris Siren says, if you were in the CBB house, who do you think you would get along with the most? Get it, bondage?
Yes,
Dirty
got it.
things.
I would get on well with Scoop. I think I'd get on well with Janice. I think I'd get on well with Austin, Gail.
Quite a few
I
of them,
think
then.
I'd get on with most of them.
Well, on that note...
I think I'd even learn how to tolerate Farrah.
Whoa, that's a statement. Well, listen, good luck.
I like to get to the into the middle, not the
loves a little-
surface.
little
I like
scratch.
to get down,
Get in
scratch
there.
down.
Emma Willis likes to get down, guys. Give it up for Emma. Still to go on when we're talking to your first Britain victory, Chris. He's going to be here to tell me about his time in the house. Plus, he's going to be getting a pat down from security as Air Rylan prepares for takeoff. It's back. There it is. Go on, girl. Don't go anywhere. I'll see you after this break. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother bit on the side. Coming up, we've got all the latest from the house. Plus, the hot water's back on, and our panel are going to be dissecting which housemates are reaching boiling point and who's keeping their cool. But first, he's used to locking people up, you nicks, not being banged up himself. But tonight, you guys at home have given him a get-out-of-jail-free card, and I think he appreciates it. It's Chris!
You well? Yeah, good.
You look happy.
I am, mate.
Oh, Chris!
Old Ryland.
Right, I've never seen anyone walk out of this house with a smile on their face that big.
Never. Oh, no, I tell you what, it was hell.
Well, listen, you've been out for about over an hour now. How are you feeling?
Great.
I've
I've had a decent glass of red wine for a
Oh, we
start.
are. That's what it's all about. We're going to be talking about the red wine in a minute.
Yeah, the red
but listen,
wine, yeah.
you're obviously most known for playing Burnside in the
Yeah,
bill,
yeah.
and we love you for it. But where was Burnside?
Well, Burnside, I just thought, well, I can't start hitting people.
Yeah, you can't do that.
No, so it's best just to sort of they stand back a bit. I mean, you know, they were just screaming all the time anyway, and they all talk so loudly, and I couldn't understand what they were saying half the time. And then they started giving political speeches, presidential speeches, which were just boring. And, you know, I thought, what is this?
Well, do you know what, Chris, you were quite quiet at times.
I was very quiet.
I've had me people on the lookout.
Oh, yeah.
And we did find a couple of Burnside moments.
Oh, really?
So it's time for your Burnside Box Bits.
Do people in real life say to you, you're an it?
They do. But only when I've committed a crime. I'm going to chin the cunt.
So have you not had much work on?
Come over here, mate, and say that. You know, I don't care how many fucking press-ups you've done. Jesus. Oh, please, please. I'm going to chin the cunt. My script is pretty thin at the moment.
Well, I've just cleaned the shit up off the seat.
Fuck off.
Can I get you anything, detective?
You fucking cunt. He said that I was boring. So obviously I've chinned the cunt. Go and clean my underpants.
Take them off! Take it off! It's
That scene's fucking over! I don't know what came over me then. I really don't. I just thought...
No, there's a bit of edit in there, Chris. But...
A little bit of edit, yeah.
Just a little bit of edit.
Yeah, a little bit of edit, Ryland.
Let's talk about the Americans.
Yes.
Because...
Why?
Well, because...
Do I have to?
You've had to live with them.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You found it quite hard,
I didn't
like you said.
any of them.
So
no.
talk
Apart
to
from
me
Austin.
about them.
Austin's great.
You got on with Austin.
Austin's
talk to me about
great.
Austin.
Well, Austin's the best of the Americans because he's... Yes, good man. He's nice, he's got a sense of humour, he's a nice guy, he's... and he lives in Huddersfield for some reason or other. but he's a really nice guy. And so I like Austin because I always felt Austin was more with us than with the...
Well, he said that, hasn't he?
And I mean,
Austin?
they got all... The
stuff.
Americans were getting upset over there. We started, you know, when we said, oh, you know, the septics. And they said, what's that mean? What's that mean, a septic? And I said, a septic tank. You know,
they didn't understand.
Oh, no, that sounds like an insult. That sounds really bad. Oh, my God. And then he's put something on my... You know, and they go, oh, shut up. These bloody women, they just went on and on and on. And they were fighting all the time. And then they started fighting amongst themselves. And they...
I know.
Oh, we know, Ron.
Well, let's talk about that divide because we, as viewers, I mean, we've not lived in there, but as viewers, we've seen the UK-US divide more than I think we thought we would, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty bad.
What's it like
now.
being in there?
Well, it's pretty bad. I mean, you know, it's not good. I mean, it's like... I think everybody sort of pretends they like Scoop. You like Scoop? He's all right.
Do you not love fan of Scoop?
I thought he was a bit of a bore, actually. He just went on going, yeah, get your ass down and all that. And I thought, well, shut up. It was boring, you know. I mean, I just find that kind of thing not very interesting. But and he didn't really, you know... I'm not only having a go at Scoop. I mean, he had a lot to contend with because he was trying to keep the two vixens from clawing each other's eyes out. Or no, clawing poor Natasha's eyes out.
Well, what did you make of that?
Well, we were in the garden when that happened, so I didn't hear it until afterwards. And then apparently it was about food. It's all about food.
Wine. This one. Well,
red wine. Oh, was it
red wine?
No, it wasn't about the red wine. That
one.
What,
the Natasha one?
No.
What, launch night?
No, that. No,
there's been so many. I can't even keep up myself.
Oh no, launch night. They got upset because somebody was sent to the tower.
Yeah.
Well, we did this competition where they're firing at people's heads, and Scoop knocked somebody's head off. I think it was mine actually. So obviously I voted for him to be sent to the tower, and because they didn't think it was funny.
Well, that started Tash and Farah's sort of bit of disagreement.
Oh, did it?
And then the other night we obviously saw with the red wine incident when it all just...
Oh, the red wine.
I mean, completely blew up.
Yeah, I know. It was the one thing I did get involved with because it was the one thing I felt strongly about. Not that I drink. Well, I did. Actually, it was the one thing that upset me.
Well, listen, there was a big red wine gate, I think we called it.
Red wine gate was definitely going on.
It leaded you to saying this.
I'm going to chin the cunt.
Right.
Shut up.
Why such a strong reaction?
That was nothing to do with the red wine.
How good is this
I'm trying to remember who it was. What?
How good was that wine?
It was crap. The red wine was awful. But what's her name? Jenna was getting kosher wine.
Yeah.
And it was blessed by the rabbi.
Yeah.
But this lovely bottle of red wine, which we thought was really nice, was disappearing every night. We used to grab a little bit, you know, because that was nice. And we
and
got
the alcohol rations in there are,
well,
they're quite
important.
tight.
They're tight. Yeah. And so I just, you know, and eventually I gave up last night. I just had to go on a gin and tonic.
Oh, he's on the gin. He's on the gin. Let's talk about Stevie and Chloe, because you sort of give them a bit of advice about their relationship during their time in there. What do you make of them two as a couple?
Odd. Very odd.
Do you think you know they're in a loving relationship?
I don't know.
You're not sure.
I mean, I listened
speculation on the outside.
Well, I know. Well, I was in a bed there, and they were there, and I listened to them sort of wrestling every night. But it wasn't.
Would there been a bit of?
Well, no, there was none of that. I don't think there's any of that. But there was a lot of sort of, oh, darling, I'd like, you know. And he was always referring to his bits, you know, and all that. And I thought. I said bits. This is the bit on the side, mate.
There you are.
There you are.
There you are. He's on brand. He's on brand.
Yeah. And there was no, but nothing actually happened. I don't think so.
Well, talking of things actually happening, obviously you're in there with Jenna. Are you familiar with her work?
No, I'm not. I'm familiar with her arse, but I'm not familiar.
I think we're all familiar with Jenna's bum. We're all familiar with that.
I think that's one of the 7 wonders of the world, that is.
Well, listen, you said... At one point, you said you weren't overly proud to be British, but I know that you are now.
Oh, I am.
Coming out of that experience. So I've got you a little present.
Oh,
and
brilliant.
And you can keep this from me.
Oh, no,
It's a little
right.
British and Proud badge.
Oh,
How's that?
I will treasure it forever.
You treasure that,
I
but that's
will.
not all you get. Because I don't like people going away empty-handed.
No.
Because you've been such a good contestant, it's time for Ryland's farewell fangs. The little toothy to Ryland, moving and everything. But listen, Chris,
I love it.
That's the niceties. Come with me.
Right.
Because you guys know what's going to happen. The teeth are going. The teeth are going.
They are.
Guys, it's a bit sad. It is a bit sad because this, unfortunately, is the moment that they all dread. Because, Chris, it's time for you to turn red. I'm so sorry, Chris.
That's all right, mate.
I think he's happy about it.
That's all right.
But listen, we're going to be hearing more from him later. He's going to be joining my panel. He's pointing at
Callum, you should have won.
Oh, we are.
You were my favourite.
Well, listen, they're going to be having a loving, but for now, give it up for Chris, everyone. Coming up, we're going to be taking an exclusive look at the fallout after Chris's departure from the American Republic. Plus, we're going to be going full force with Chris. He's going to be facing some probing questions from our panel and audience. I'll see you after this. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Still to come, Chris gets an almighty grilling from Abbott's Diners, plus Air Ryland will be taken to the skies. But first, it's time to check in with the house and see how they're getting on post-eviction, and the bitching continues. Bit of turbulence.
Can I talk to you for a sec?
Yeah, maybe.
Are we cool?
Why? Yeah.
I don't know,
Why do you say that?
I don't know.
Why do you say
I
that?
just got a feeling.
You did?
Yeah?
No.
A little bit.
No, not at all.
All
No,
right.
if anything, we were like, it's just really weird. Like, whenever this evictions happen, Natasha's face is really off-putting.
In your direction?
No, it's not even in any, and I don't think in anybody's direction, but she's just like...
Yeah. What's that called? Resting bitch face?
Yes.
I think that's what it
And
is.
I am all about resting bitch face. Thank you, baby. Hook me up, child. Stop drinking my wine.
All right. Okay. That's all.
No, but no, it's nothing bad. I'm
All
just
right,
like,
cool.
you know, why? She's just trying to look cool in front of people, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Whichever. But no, we're cool for show.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already got my wine. Are you kidding me? Of course.
Oh, I do love a good resting bitch face. Let's see what our panel have made of the latest dramas in the house. Let's start with Scoop's speech about branding and how the housemates are coming across. Aim, let me come to you. Is it wise to maybe sit there and explain to the housemates you've got to think of your rep on the outside?
Well, I think they're living in a bubble, you know, obviously, and some contestants are able to, you know, see themselves for what they are, and others are just kind of, you know, carry on the
delusion.
The delusion. And I think that he did a real reality check there and said, look, the nation is watching you, and you're acting like children, you know?
For want of a better word.
Reading my language. You know, I didn't want to do a Farah on that, you know, with all her swearing from the other day. But, yeah, he did a real reality check on them, and I think that was a good thing.
Well, Cal, you were in there. Like, do you lose sight of sort of what's going on outside and what the public perception is?
I mean, the big picture, you don't, because you know you're in there for a reason, you know what I mean? But the small picture on little things, like for the first week, everybody's taking care of themselves, making sure they're looking good, and then after a while, you're going, who cares?
The makeup comes
you're
off.
Farting, you're walking around, you don't really care. But Scoop, yeah, well, I did the same. You don't really care for a while, but Scoop, as much as he's taken that presidential role very serious, me, I think he really laid into him and said, think about this. If we are arguing about the most pathetic things and everybody's constantly at each other's throats, you're going to look like dicks. And you know, that's what you're there for. You don't want to walk away hating their spirit.
Well, he actually said himself, he found it quite tough being president. Nick, how do you think he's coped as president?
Yeah, I do. I agree with what you've just said, Callum, but I just think he's taking this whole thing a bit seriously. He thinks he's the Dalai Lama or something. Like, come on, this is Big Brother.
Well, Chris, you've been in there with him.
Yeah,
I know you said, you know, what you said over there.
More with her.
Well, how do you think he's done as president?
Well, he's all right. I mean, you know, he's not Obama, but I mean, he's all right. I mean, I think he's taken it a bit too seriously. And I think he's actually he's writing. I mean, he goes up in the tower and writes in mascara, because you don't get a pen in there. And he writes presidential speeches.
Yeah, he does take it a bit too serious.
On cereal boxes.
I mean, honestly, I think he thinks Donald Trump's going to be the next one in.
Well, listen, if Scoop's struggling, Janice says she's keen to step in. I'd like to see that one. And if she did, she would bring peace and order to the house.
She would.
Would she, Aim?
It's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house. I mean, just watching her teach yoga to those two, it was like yoga's meant to be relaxing, and she's like beating the crap out of them.
You could see his head was just getting closer to her boobs, and he was like, "Is Chloe looking? Is Chloe looking? What's going on?"
So can you imagine under a Janice regime, it would just be hell on earth.
Well, it'd be brilliant. You know, You know what I like about Janice, though? Me and Nikki were talking that she's hanging out with the English. So I think what's really cool about Janice, I've worked with her in the past, but she finds more like she gets along with the English more than the Americans. Because I think the Americans have a lot of, not the whole bunch, but a few have some attitude, when I think the English are a bit more laid back in their mannerisms, you know?
Well, this is what I want to say, because Janice, since she's been sort of hanging about with Stevie and Chloe, become part of that threesome, shall we say? I mean, that'd be a film. Jenna, I'm copywriting it. Do you think that has sort of mellowed her a bit? Because she seemed a bit ostracised, didn't she, in the first sort of week that she was there, and then all of a sudden she's teamed up with them, and we've seen a bit more of a quieter side.
Yeah, I think you want to see that as well, because I think Janice, before she goes in, everyone's going, oh my God, Janice is coming on the show, because she has that reputation, and that's why people hire her, because she's great at doing that. But I think that if she was like that the whole way through, you'd be like, Jesus, drop me out. But because she's now found people that she can be at kind of a calmer level with, and I think she'll be liked a bit more as such.
She's got a bit mumsy, hasn't she?
I looked at her demeanour compared to this show I did with her, where she was so nuts. I was cooking in the kitchen. She came to the freezer and lifted her dress over her head and showed her panties, and I'm going, trying to cook some dinner here. Really awkward situation.
Just a casual Tuesday around Janice's. It wasn't even a show.
I think Farah is such an intimidating, poisonous character that even she made Janice cry, and for Janice to cry, then that is a big deal. So she feels safer hanging out with the Brits.
Well, Janice has mellowed, but someone who hasn't been keeping out of trouble is Natasha. We've seen her... Oh, what? We've seen her pipe up a bit. Nick, what are you making of her sort of feisty side coming out?
Love her.
Yeah, I think Natasha's a really good housemate, and she is trying to hold that British team together. Yeah. But it seems like it's her, at the moment, it's her versus the Americans. Yeah.
There's a bit. I think those two girls have got it in for her.
Yeah.
Do you think they have, Chris?
Well, Jenna made up with her.
Well, I don't know. I mean, sorry.
No, go ahead, mate. Sorry.
I mean,
somebody go.
I have to say, Natasha's. I love Natasha. She's a really nice, down-to-earth girl. And what do you think of my eyebrows?
Oh, I mean, they're beautiful.
Aren't they lovely?
I mean, I need mine done.
As done by Natasha.
As done by Natasha. Yes. Maybe coming to a salon near you soon. Nick, you just touched on it, though. She's made up with Jenna. I say that quite
Yeah,
loosely.
but literally minutes after, Jenna's there bitching about
And
her.
that is the problem she has. I've noticed it's her against two all the time, you know. But I like that she's standing up for herself. I like she's standing up for others. But I think to myself, God, I wish someone would back her up a bit more as well.
You just want a bit of... Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm hearing in my ear. It's time for the second quote alert of the night. Quote alert! I might have a higher tolerance than many people, mate. But when someone comes towards me in a derogatory way, I can't do it. I handle my sensitivities and my emotions. That was me being Farrah. Quote alert, there you go. Let's talk about this. She's talking about, obviously, her attitude in that. You live with Perez, Callum.
Yeah.
How is it? How does it compare? How do you think Farrah compares to what Perez was like?
Okay, so I think that Perez, unfortunately, would cruise around creating drama, and he would antagonize and get to people and annoy people, and he would do it intentionally to try to get people kicked out, to try to piss people off for all these other reasons. But I think that Farrah, unfortunately, and I don't know her, but I think a lot of her bitterness and anger comes from some deep, dark place. Maybe Perez has that as well, but I think that... Stop.
Bring it on, bring it on.
But I think also, like, when I saw the episode the other day, and she's talking about, or it could have been today, she's talking about how when she went to therapy, so straight off the bat, you know, okay, she's obviously got something, and she's seeing people, and everybody's got their problems. But I feel for her, but at the same time, I think, Jesus, you are such a nasty piece of work, you know?
She just needs to chill down.
Yeah.
And what are you making of the softer side?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, she's just like a chihuahua, isn't she? She's just relentless barking all the time. And I just think the combination of her and Jenna is just absolutely poisonous. Yeah. It's awful. But I feel sad. I feel kind of sad for Farrah because we do know now that she's got issues. And if anybody's trying to deal with those, we have to, you know, just be a little bit kind to them, even if they are an absolute bloody nightmare.
Spare a fault. Spare a fault. I think spare a little fault.
Yeah.
Well, watch it play out. Give them a little chat. A clap, chat to the clap. We've all got the clap. I haven't got the clap. Listen, Chris has just swapped his pampered celeb lifestyle in the house for a car park in Boreham Wood. But he's not going dogging. It's nothing compared to what he faces now, because he's going to have a traditional British roasting from our panel and audience. So, let's start with you, Nick. Have you got a question for Chris?
So, Chris, I've just met you tonight, and I think you're a lovely guy, but obviously the British public didn't warm to you. What do you think you could have brought to the house?
Just to rub salt in the wound, Chris. So.
What do I think I brought to the house? Bugger all, really.
On that note, let's go out here. You got a question for Chris? Go on, mate.
You seemed to get involved more when you got nominated. Was that an attempt to try and stay in?
Oh.
Just say yes, no.
No. Just no? OK, fine.
No, yeah, there's an answer for you. Paul?
Yeah, Chris, we know you for playing your tough guy characters, but are you really going to chin the first American you see when you leave the house?
Not if it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's actually me.
It's actually me.
Oh, well, I wouldn't obviously...
It's actually
I wouldn't
me.
obviously chin you, would I?
Amy, I'd step in for you, babe. I would. Have you got a question for him?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, Chris, you know, if you could go back in time, would you change anything to make you get evicted even sooner?
Well, to make myself get evicted even sooner.
You were desperate to get out. I mean, you ran up those stairs. You didn't even look back.
I did look back. I looked back and I went... What are you drinking tonight? I went, see you later, guys. Been fun, you know, gone.
Chris, did you enjoy it?
No, not particularly.
Oh, Chris!
I did, actually. I enjoyed... No, I got some great stuff off Davro. I got a few gags, which I can use in panto. And I'm going... but I've found some... Yeah, obviously there were good times. I mean, we had good times. There were funny times, but there were very tedious times as well. And also, of course, there was all that shouting. I mean, honestly, I promise you, any of you people who went in there and spent 2 days in there listening to that.
Oh,
Yap,
Dad,
yap,
not
yap,
watching
yap.
it.
Over the, oh, sorry about that's American voices. You don't have that voice. Thank God you don't have that voice. But,
I bet she can if she wants.
You ain't seen nothing, Chris. You ain't seen nothing.
And it goes on and on and on and on, and it's really, really.
I think the chinning might be the other way tonight. I'm a little bit worried. But on that note, give it up for the panel.
Security, please.
Listen, coming up, Chris is through departures and he's waiting to board Air Island for a bit of toxic talk. Plus, we've got tonight's final slice of house action. Don't move an inch, I'll see you after this. Welcome back to Celebrity Big Brother's bit on the side. Chris going to be taxiing down the runway in Air Island very shortly. But before takeoff, it's time to see how the house are coping with that big old Burnside-shaped hole.
I could have sworn I heard a saying, and I might be wrong, because I'm a bit deaf, saying, as of tomorrow, I'm going to change my life.
Who?
Farrah.
Well, she's certainly changed it. The book's still open for me. If she gets horrible again, I know how I'm going to view it, and I think she's learning, personally.
Well, do you think she's learning, or now she's playing the game?
Well, she's bound to play the game, because people don't... You can't change someone within a week. That damage inside her has been done through many, many years of pain. That's why she attacks us.
She doesn't fool me. She doesn't fool me.
But if you take the time to step back, Natasha, and think, why does she act the way she is? I've got a little phrase which I really want to...
Everyone keeps saying that. I could be an absolute bitch because of my past, and I know she's young, but she's come at me.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Came at me.
You know, and I'm like, I'm not... No.
Oh, well, they're all still bitching in the house, but listen up, because I can exclusively reveal that face-to-face nominations have just begun. And it ain't pretty! Tune in to tomorrow night's show to find out who is nominated and who they were nominated by, plus all of the fallout. But, Aim, let me come to you. Who do you think's going to be in trouble?
Get Jenna out. Absolutely.
You think Jenna?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she's a troublemaker.
She's a troublemaker. Callum?
I mean, you want Jenna and Fair to go, but there's such entertainment, you can't say that, you know? But, I don't know. I say Gail because I feel for her, but at the same time, I think she's lovely.
But remember, it's a fake double.
Oh,
it's a fake double, or a fake double. Oh. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night, and you'll find out who's up. But listen, Chris, your time in the house is sadly over, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. But if he could leave some baggage behind, what wouldn't he be checking into the hold? Do you know what? It's time to find out in... Good evening, Chris. You've now cleared security and it's now time for departure, so please take your seat on Air Island. And he's on. I'm going to fire some toxic questions at you and I want your rapid response. Are you ready?
I am.
It's time for takeoff. Who is the most toxic waste of space?
Oh, Farrah.
Do you regret giving Jenna your red wine?
I regret giving Jenna anything.
Were you playing hide and seek in the house? Because we never saw you. Please don't arrest me.
I was there. I was there. You just weren't looking.
Which housemate would you send on a plane far, far away from the... Oh. Listen, you're out of time, but it's time for your back to reality landing question. Who said this about you in the house? He might be intimidated by my career. Maybe it's the age gap. I think he's cruising and not engaging. Was it A, Jenna Jameson, B, Farrah, or C, Janice?
Well, it certainly wasn't Janice.
I need an answer.
Probably Gemma.
It was Jenna! Well done, Chris! And listen, that is it for tonight. A massive thank you to my fantastic panel and our audience. Thank you. I'm going to be back here at 11 o'clock tomorrow with Scott Robinson, Vanessa Bells and Chloe Goodman. answers back, and I can't wait. I'll see you tomorrow night. Night, night. Well done.